Greetings, everyone. This is another Inspirational Wednesday by Brother Jarvis Mayo of the Broad Street Church of Christ, bringing you grand horizon as another day that we facing it for the Lord. Today we'll be looking at 1 Peter chapter 4, verse number 12. And the Bible reads, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trials, which is to try you, as though some strange things happen unto you. Paul is telling and urging us to expect fiery trials. Instead of being surprised by them, we should not see them as persecution, as strange and unusual for the people of God. Because they tried God, they're going to try us also. The devil don't like it that you're serving God, so he's going to shoot all the fiery darts at you that he can. But we have to remember, if we suffer for the cause of Christ, we're suffering for a good cause. Look at verse number 13. Be rejoiceful inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Although we go through some things, we continue to fight the good fight of faith. Because one day, when this old warfare is over, we're going to be rejoiceful. We're going to always be happy. We're going to be glad for all the things that we went through, because when this old warfare is over, we'll hear a faithful servant, job well done. I don't know about you, but these are the words I would love to hear after I done fought the good fight of faith. You know, as the world that we live in is full of trials and temptation, not just on a sexual prospect, but on a spiritual prospect. You know, life is hard enough trying to be right when you always got some people in your ear trying to tear you down. Life is always not going to be sunshines and rainbows. You're going to have some disappointments in your life. You're going to have some trials come. Your children are going to act up at times. Your spouse might say the wrong thing to you. Your family might turn their back on you. But he says, count it with all glory. Count it with all joy. Be exceedingly glad that you get go through these trials with Christ walking by you. Let's look at verse number 14. He said, if ye be reproached for the name of Christ, happy are ye, for the Spirit of glory and of God resteth upon you, and on their parts is evil spoken of, but on your part it is glorified. When you can withstand the trials and the tribulation that come your way, you will find glory in God. God has never left us nor forsaken us. He said he sent his son to die. His son came down here and was tried, tempted, but never failed. And we can be the same way too and find the glory that he found as he walked through this Christian race. Verse number 15 says, but let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Sometimes it's best we just keep our focus on God. I love it that Jesus said we are of the world, but we're not in the world. I love it when he talks about how we could go through the trials and tribulation and he'll walk with us. But this verse is actually talking about don't get caught up in the things of this world. Don't be a busybody. Stay out of other folks' business. Worry about your own. By the time you get through fixing yourself, you do not have time to worry about nobody else. He says, does it be a murderer or a thief or an evildoer? As we stated earlier, it is hard to be in this world and not get caught up in the affairs of this world. Sometimes we want to get caught up in the Joneses. Sometimes we want to have what other folks have. But guess what? We stick with Christ, we will have the glory that nobody ever will have in their lifetime. Verse number 16 says, if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on his behalf. When you go through the trials, when you go through those tribulations and you succeed and make it through, don't you take the glory, you give God the glory, because God helped you through these trials. God help you to stand and fight when you wanted to run. God is there with you when you feel like you're all alone. God is with you when your family turn their back on you. God is with you when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night. God is with you when you're driving down the highways and byways in your car. When you're going to the grocery store, God is with you. So you have nothing to be ashamed of, but always glorify him, because without him, we can do nothing. For the time will come, in verse number 17, that judgment must begin in the house of God. And it first began at us. What shall the end, be of them which do not obey the gospel? And if any righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinners appear? Wherefore let them suffer according to the will of God, committed and keepeth of their soul. To him it is well doing, as unto a faithful Creator. God is so good, and all the time God is good. He said, for the time will come when judgment will begin at the house of God. It's going to begin with us. And I'm going to do my best, and I hope you're going to do your best to make it in. But also in this verse, it talks about if the righteous are scarcely saved. That's a scary thought when I read that time and time again. We could think we're so righteous and be so far from the truth that it's going to be a rough day when we hear, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. But if the righteous be saved, I hope I am the one that's in that number when he calls. Once again, this is Brother Jarvis Mayo from the Broad Street Church of Christ, bringing unto you the things that God has said and have done for us. Once again, don't count it strange when you're going through things of this world. Don't count it strange when the devil tempts you with things that he think he can pull you away with. Don't count it strange when things go on. Give God the glory, give God the praise, and let God know and the world know that he is the one that brought you through your trials and your tribulations. Thank you once again.